Hi, this is Liz Coley. Welcome to Undercover Reading. We're at episode 29 of The Captain's Kid. Chapter 6, Outbound, Part 6. The lunch party was awkwardly split, as we had been in the classroom. Mo purposely took Sherry and Audrey to a table for 4 to make it impossible for us to sit with them. I refused to let it spoil my good mood. Con and Karthik and I would do just fine without them. At least that's what I told myself. Karthik headed for the food line. A chill on my neck gave me that weird feeling of being watched for just a second. Surveying the cafe, I didn't catch anyone staring, whether security or saboteur. I rubbed the back of my head to shake it off, filled a bowl with sliced fruit, and heaped on a scoop of peach yogurt. Sprinkled the top with some kind of bird seed. Karthik approved. Con pouted. Don't tell me you're turning vegetarian. I'm going to enjoy my stir-fry. No guilt. She threw Karthik that look through her eyelashes. I realized she had a purple headband nestled in her spiky hair. Karthik shrugged in response, obviously under her spell. I attacked my sundae. A strawberry rolled off the spoon and under the table. Why didn't they make the dang thing square? I leaned down to snag it with my fork. Under the table, Con's and Karthik's nearest feet were twined together. Well, why shouldn't they be? Still, a strange sensation landed in the pit of my stomach. Got it! I brandished my strawberry. No one noticed. They were already talking about the 0G lesson, each one claiming the title of worst. Before they noticed me again, lunch was over, and it was time to face whatever Dr. M had in store for us. His classroom was also flanked by study carrels, but 6 lab tables and the teacher demo bench filled the middle of the room. So groups of 3 would be the natural split here too, with 18 of us. How awkward. Dr. M ahemed into his hand and we all got quiet. Welcome, one and all, he said in a booming voice that matched his large body. We're not separating by age cohorts for science. We'll all dabble together through some life science, chemistry, physics, and engineering. During introductions, I picked up the rest of the names I'd missed and put them into memory. On my handheld, that is. I could stuff them into my brain later tonight. When I tuned back in, Dr. M was already lecturing on our first topic, the chemistry of life. At the end of the science hour, he dropped a brown-bound notebook, paper-based, and an old-fashioned ink pen on every desk, saying as he traversed the room, Behold the traditional laboratory notebook, still in use after centuries. Why, you ask? Paper and pen, you wonder? Is he mad? Holding my notebook and pen aloft, he proclaimed, I will explain. He fanned the pages of the notebook. These numbered pages self-duplicate when you write. You can't remove data from a page without leaving evidence on the copy. Every page is dated and signed. It is essentially hack-proof. He beamed with delight. Remember, sometimes going low-tech is the best solution. Tomorrow we'll begin with a simple electrolysis, taking water apart and putting it back together again. Anyone afraid of loud noises? A few hands crept up to shoulder level. Be warned then, he cried. It's exothermic! He put his hands around his mouth and whispered, Look that up and know what it means by tomorrow. I knew. On Luna, we were well acquainted with the danger of bringing pure hydrogen gas near oxygen. One accidental spark and kablooey. Holes in the dome. Emergency sirens. 15-second suit drills. For real. I assumed we'd be exploding in a more controlled way. Karthik kicked me under the table and gestured with his head at Dr. M. He raised his eyebrows. I shook my head. No, I did not think Dr. M planned to have us kids blow up the reliable during science period tomorrow. But it made me think. We were awfully vulnerable out here, even more than in a hab. If someone was determined to wreak havoc, how would we stop him? How would we catch him before? How did people stand it during the century of terrorism, always wondering what next? Having grown up in a peaceful time and a peaceful place, I couldn't imagine a world filled with the terrors I'd read about. Our fragile lunar habitats could never have been founded in an age of paranoia. A well-placed explosive could destroy the water supply, the oxygen plant, or even the habitat roof, which protected us from radiation and the airless vacuum. People had to be able to trust each other to get on with the business of living, after all. Dr. M switched over from science to math testing to figure out where the individual online math tutor would start each of us. The walls of my desk vanished as I slipped into Math World, my favorite subject. It was fun to romp and play with equations and graphs after being away for a couple of weeks. When Dr. M announced, "Time to close up shop, everybody!" my desk comp informed me I'd be starting with Module 42 tomorrow. No homework tonight. Karthik and Khan held hands as they left the room. So, they were going full public. 18, Khan was saying. Me too. We can work on our homework together. That's so perfect. My room, your room, the lounge. What's best? Karthik gave the perfect guy answer. Wherever you like, Khan. He snuck an eye-rolly look at me. How about you, Brandon? Would you like to join us for problem sets after dinner? The program didn't assign me any homework tonight. I have no idea why, I said in a smallish voice. Lucky, Khan said. Karthik just stared at me. How high? He mouthed silently. I squinted and held up 4 fingers on the left and 2 on the right. 24, he burst out. You can tutor us then, catch us up. I felt eyes on the back of my head. Frizz an amazing Band-Aid. 42. Standing behind me, Mo had read my hands the right way. He brushed past, shaking his head in disbelief. I blushed. Khan's eyes went round. 40? 24, I said quickly. Just a 24. Must have had some lucky guesses. Karthik's snort told me he wasn't buying a word of it. Come on, boss, over to the theater. You're going to love what comes next. Miss Jan and 15 volunteer adults met us at the theater. A few of the littles arriving from their classroom spotted and hugged a parent. 2 of the middle graders nodded in the general direction of the grown-ups. The upper graders did their best to ignore anyone with an obvious genetic resemblance to them. When everyone had taken a seat, Miss Jan made the announcement. Good afternoon, all. I'm quite excited about our first arts project. It ties in perfectly with what everyone's studying in history and lit. Over the next 3 months, we're going to be staging an ancient Greek comedy called The Birds. I whispered to Karthik. Sounds like a real hoot. What a lark, he whispered back. Miss Jan, hearing of a bat, frowned at our row. The original version by Aristophanes is about a pair of Athenians searching for an easy life who decide to become birds. In our updated version, our Greek chorus will sing, not just recite their part. So I need musicians, that is, players and composers and singers, at least a quartet. Let me know if you want to audition for a main speaking role. We also need costume design, as technical director Dr. M needs a stage crew for design, build, paint, light, and sound. Then there's props to create, Greek urns, trees, a giant nest, that sort of thing. This is really involved, I said in Karthik's ear. Everyone has to do it? He nodded and put a finger to his lips. Miss Jan gestured to the adults in the front row. These wonderful parents will teach in the areas where they have specific talents. Finally, we'll need someone to photograph and vid the work we're doing and edit a documentary record for the ship's archives. Jobs for everyone, she cheered. Sign up by messaging me. And that's it for today. Early dismissal. I stretched and turned to Karthik. I'm going for musician and composer. How about you? Acting is my passion. So I'll audition for a role, plus costume design. He'd be great on costumes. How about you, Khan? I asked. Documentarian here, she said, plus hair and makeup. You're kidding, I cracked up. She'd only just discovered her own skin and hair. Then I noticed her fingernails were painted like tiny galaxies. She'd been experimenting again. So we're done? What's the plan? Karthik asked. I'm starving, I said, and Dad doesn't get off for 2 more hours. Same here, Khan said. Want to get a snack and start homework? I shrugged. Sounded good to me. At the cafe self-service line, I opted for a deep bowl of the vegetable soup and 4 fresh puffy rolls. A decent snack. Khan reached for a burger. I made squeaky whistling noises at her. She glared back. It says bean burger, nitwit. Don't you think those little faces are permanently engraved on my mind? Sorry. Enjoy, I offered. Karthik dropped a casual arm around her shoulders. See, Brandon? She's converted. I grinned. You can thank me later. Who's our next convert? Starting the next Crusades, Band-Aid. On my left, Mo slipped into line. Or should I call you 42? I wish you wouldn't, I said with all sincerity, and I wish you'd tell me what I've done to piss you off. all the time. He took a step back. What are you talking about? Come here. I dragged him out of line, leaving my soup steaming on the counter. He pulled his arm away. What the? Out here, where it's private. He followed me into the corridor, not so private, but not in front of everyone. He crossed his arms and stood legs apart, back against the corridor wall. What do you want, Band-Aid? I fixed his gaze. 1. An end to the stupid nickname. Look, it's healed. He pointed to my forehead. 2. Stop giving me those looks. Looks? You think I'm hitting on you? He said. Oh, shut it. You know that's not what I mean. I don't understand why you're hacked off at me all the time. You know, when I found out today how much I thought maybe you'd be someone I could talk to about it. You didn't already know about my father? Of course not, I said. No one tells me anything. They all assume I know just because I'm the captain's kid. Well, I don't. I've been living in a bubble all my life, literally. I am a total noob. And I would have appreciated a better welcome. I thought space brats stuck together. Mo stood there a second, his face going through a whole actor's range of expressions, settling on amused. Good to know you're human, anyway. I was puzzled. What do you mean I'm human, anyway? Oh, come on, Mo explained. You're over 2 meters tall. Your eyes don't match. You're a frizzin' genius. You're a ninja in 0G, and the girls can't stop talking about you. And here I thought I was an oversized klutz who was managed to completely alienate 3 of my possible 5 friends. So you admit you're a genius, Mo shot back. I rolled my eyes. Look, I'm just a guy who has a way with numbers and computers. You, on the other hand, are a guy who has a way with words. Dang, man, you had me all choked. Thanks. Mo looked at his feet. Sorry about your father. Really. I swear no one told me till today. I wish I'd known we had so much in common. What, being haunted? Yeah, still, I sighed. Daily. His feet shuffled. Me too. I had to do it. I had to force myself to ask. Do you think it was my mom's fault? He put his hands out like he was pushing the idea away. No, of course not. Things happen in space. Malfunctions, collisions, no. Anyway, she was navigating second seat. My dad was piloting. So, if anything, he shrugged, his eyes full of sadness. I grabbed his arm. No, don't even think that. Like you said, things happen. We weren't there. We don't know. We stood there in uncomfortable silence for a moment. Then Mo broke it. I grew up with Audrey. We've always traveled together, and she's always thought of me as her brother. He paused, mouth tight. No matter how I felt about it. And then she takes one look at you and... A longer pause. Well, as a brother, so to speak, I have to ask why you mess her up so bad. I mean, I can't help hearing them talking about it. You know, girls talk. Whatever you said to her at the dance, whatever you did to her on Luna, and then dumping her like that. What could I say? I can't be in a relationship with anyone, I said. I can have friends, but no one. Because you're the captain's son? Indirectly, big red target. Yeah. His brows lowered. Then why'd you let her think you could? You made special arrangements. Like a date. It wasn't a date, I insisted. I never said it was a date. Mo pushed off the wall and took a step toward the cafe entrance. Well, Brandon, she thought it was. He stalked away. I know she did, I whispered to his back. And I'm sorry. That's the end of chapter 6. Please come back as we start to approach Esperanza.